All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about something pretty wild coming out of the AI scene in China. It's a new kind of AI that does way, way more than just chat. No, this is an AI that actually rolls up its sleeves and gets to work.
And get this, that's not some kind of marketing fluff or an exaggeration. We are literally talking about an AI that can take a simple conversation with you and turn it into a fully functional, well-designed, mobile-friendly website. It's a massive, massive leap from where we were even a few months ago.
So what's this thing called? It's OK Computer, and it's basically the new agent mode from a company called Kimi. And, maybe the most disruptive part of this whole thing? It's completely free to use. And that fact alone is already sending some serious shockwaves through the industry.
Okay, so to really get our heads around what's going on here, we're going to break it down into 5 key parts. First, we'll cover what an AI agent even is. Then, we'll peek under the hood at the tech making it all possible. We'll look at why this is such a game changer, understand its real-world impact on businesses, and finally, we'll talk about how you can start messing around with this stuff while, staying safe.
So first things first, what is OK Computer, really? To get it, you've got to think way beyond the chatbots that we've all gotten used to. This is a different beast entirely.
Right, so this is the key thing to understand. It's an AI agent. Think of it less like a helpful assistant that answers your questions and more like a digital worker that you can assign a whole complex project to. It's built from the ground up to solve problems on its own, working away in its own little virtual space to get the job done. And the list of what it can do is honestly kind of staggering. We're talking about building those entire websites we mentioned, crunching huge data sets, whipping up interactive dashboards for that data, designing full-on slide decks, and it even generates images and videos. It's the whole shebang, all from one place.
I know, that sounds almost too good to be true, right? So what's the secret sauce? How does it actually work? Let's take a look under the hood.
Okay, the magic here really comes down to a totally different design philosophy. See, models like GPT-4 were built to talk about stuff. Kimi's K2 model, it has an agent-first design. It was built from day one to do stuff. Now, it's a massive 1 trillion parameter model, but here's the clever part. It only uses about 32 billion at a time. It's like it has a whole team of experts, and it just picks the right specialist for whatever job you give it.
And look, this isn't just talk. The numbers are in. On this key coding benchmark called SWE Bench, the K2 model is hitting almost 66%, leaving GPT 4.1 pretty far behind. So this is state-of-the-art performance. It proves this thing has the muscle to actually deliver on its promises. But okay, let's be real here. It's not perfect. There's a pretty big limitation right now. The K2 model is text only. It's a genius when it comes to reasoning with code in text, but you can't just upload a picture or a chart and have it understand what it's looking at. That's probably coming, for sure, but for now, it's a key thing to remember.
All right, now let's talk about the stuff that is absolutely blowing people's minds. The features that are really redefining what we thought was possible with AI today.
1 million. Let that sink in for a second. That's how many rows of data, say from a giant spreadsheet, that OK Computer can analyze in one go. Most AI tools out there would just completely choke on a file that big. But this agent is built for it. It turns what used to be a huge data analysis headache into a simple request.
A great way to think about this is like having a digital employee that literally never sleeps. Because it can handle these big, complex projects all on its own, it's just always on. It's always ready for the next task, working away for you in the background 24/7. Okay, so this is all cool tech, but what does a tool like this actually mean for the real world? For jobs, for industries? Let's talk about the business impact because, well, several industries are about to feel a major, major shift.
Well, a few key areas are, let's just say, they're on notice. We're talking web development, data analysis, digital marketing, and content creation. Why? Because the core tasks in these fields are exactly what these AI agents are getting insanely good at automating.
I mean, just look at the difference here. This is a before and after picture of entire workflows. Something like a complex data analysis that used to take days and a whole team of specialists. Now, it can be done in minutes. A website that took weeks and a dev team? Now it's spun up in a few hours from a single conversation. This isn't just an improvement, it's a total transformation of how work gets done.
And then there's the elephant in the room, the price, or the lack thereof. By offering all this power for free, Kimi, which, by the way, is backed by over $1 billion from Alibaba, is playing the long game. The strategy is simple. Get everyone using it first, figure out how to make money later, and that could easily kick off a full-blown AI price war.
So you're probably thinking, okay, I get it. This is huge. How do I get my hands on it? In this last section, let's put together a little action plan for how to get started and, just as important, how to stay safe.
Look, if you do get a chance to play with this, here's my advice. First, start simple. Just give it some basic tasks to get a feel for what it can do. Second, be super specific with what you ask for. The more detail you give, the better the result will be. And remember, this stuff isn't magic. You've got to review the output and help refine it. The best way to use it is for all the heavy lifting, while you provide the strategy and the human touch on top.
All right, but before you jump in, we have to talk about safety and a few red flags. First, and most important, do not upload sensitive or confidential information. Seriously. Also, remember this is a beta product, so you're going to run into bugs and errors. And because of its origins, your company might have some real compliance concerns about data privacy, so always check your internal policies. And finally, for now, access is still pretty limited and really focused on the Chinese market.
And all of this really boils down to one simple, kind of scary truth. The conversation is over about if AI is going to change things. The real question is how fast you can adapt. Because the companies that figure out how to use these tools are going to replace the ones that don't. It's that simple.
So that's where we are. We're seeing the first real digital workers come online, and tools like OK Computer are just the very beginning. The window to jump in and get that early adopter advantage is closing way faster than you might think. So that really just leaves one question for you to answer. What's your next move going to be? Are you jumping in, or are you going to wait on the sidelines?